put it in a setting that would be kind of like hardy, that it would be almost like break proof. It's a bezel set ring, so if you do drop it or bang it, there's less of a chance of it to break or catch the stone or something like that, or catch on things. It's a smooth, it's a nice ring. But if you drop the dang thing in the toilet, jeez. And my Alexandrite's the same way, but I don't have any trouble with the Alexandrite. I've never had trouble getting that one on or off. And the Alexandrite might actually be rarer than the diamond. Alexandrite's rarer than diamond, and this is a natural one. Everything can be faked now. Everything can be grown. I mean, back when I got these rings, I don't think maybe they had the technology, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. Now, just about everything is faked or grown, lab grown. I mean, maybe that'll be the thing in the future, is they'll just grow our gemstones, and everybody will be able to afford them, maybe, if they're not too greedy. I mean, it should get cheaper over time to make them, and they're still they're still the same mineral, but they don't have to dig up the ground to make them, I guess. I mean, they can grow emerald too, and emerald's really expensive. I think emerald's more expensive than diamond if you want a decent. I mean, I looked for this emerald. It took a long time to find a decent emerald. I think it's one of the most expensive gemstones you can buy. Diamond is relatively common, I think, whereas Alexandrite and emerald, I think those are kind of, I think they're actually kind of rare to get in a good condition, a good quality. Diamonds, I think, are about the most common. I didn't know when I bought it, but I mean, I've got a big one here, and there's not quite as many as those. But if you can grow them, you can probably grow them in any size. I think they start out with a tiny chip of a diamond, and they grow it off that. They get like a 1 point or a 2 point diamond, and then they grow it into a. They can grow it into a 5-carat diamond, I think. And it's probably better than the ones that are natural. Mine has a flaw in it. It's not real visible, but the ones that are grown, I think they're maybe even flawless. But they could probably make fake flaws too. But one way to tell a lab-grown one from a natural one, there's 2 ways. One way is that if it's got flaws in it, it's probably natural, especially if the flaws look like real flaws. And another way is, I guess it's a law that you're supposed to label the grown ones. They label they put a mark on them or something that maybe you can't see it, but if you get a loop, they have some kind of a label on it that it's lab grown, because otherwise there might not really be any way to tell. So what does that do to the value of a diamond? In a way, it's good, because anybody could have a diamond in the future when prices come down. But as far as rarity factor or it being worth money, I mean, I think at one time people looked at diamond as sort of an investment. If you didn't pay too much for it, that it would keep its value. Well, maybe they're not going to keep their value now. If they can make them. Same thing with gold. If they can ever make gold, what's that going to do to the value of gold? I don't think that'll happen in my lifetime, but I think 100 years from now they'll probably have a way to make gold, and it might come down in price. They'll be able to make it for less than what it's worth. What will that do to the value of gold? And you might say, oh, they're never going to do that. Well, they already have. But it costs more to do it right now because energy is so expensive. But if we get a cheaper version of energy, which I do believe is coming, I think it's already here, they just haven't let it out. That's going to change our whole way of thinking about material objects. If we get another way to make energy that's cheaper, they'll be able to make things that we never even thought of. I mean, it's probably 100 years away or more, but there'll come a day when gold could be made, and we're going to have to, I mean, they'll probably try to regulate it at first because gold is money right now, but eventually they're going to have to abandon gold as money, I think. That's what I'm predicting, and it's not going to happen in my lifetime. Anybody that's alive right now probably doesn't have to worry about it, but eventually, sometime in maybe even in my next lifetime, gold will no longer be a, I mean, it won't be, I mean, right now we keep it as a holder of value. We'll have to find something else to replace it. I mean, like Bitcoin, there's only 20 million Bitcoin. They'll have to find another way to store money. Maybe they'll have to use Bitcoin, or maybe they'll invent another crypto. I mean, we won't have all the corruption in the future, so I think we won't. Maybe in the future we won't have inflation, so it won't be an issue anymore. Corruption will be gone. By the time they can make gold, there won't be all this inflation anymore, so we won't need gold anymore. People use it for jewelry still, but we won't need it to protect ourselves from inflation anymore. We'll probably have some kind of a digital form of currency. Or the dollar will be stable. You know, you won't be worrying about, oh, am I losing value every year? You can just put it in the bank and leave it there. And then I think Bitcoin will be with us for a long time. I mean, for long-term storage, you could maybe leave it in Bitcoin too. And there'll be other digital currencies. There's one that's supposed to have a 12-bit encryption in the future. And that might be a competitor with Bitcoin. And that might be where people park their money in the future. I mean, that maybe 10 years away that will exist. That might come out in the 2030s or something. Brian mentioned that. Let's look for a 12-bit encryption. And it'll be I mean, a lot of these little altcoins that they have now, I don't think they're not anything to really keep for long term. See, here's where I spent the night right here. Last night. These altcoins, they might be a short-term way to make money. It's more of speculation. Bitcoin will always be around. It'll be around for a long time. But these other altcoins, those are speculative. Some are better than others, but they're speculative. And there's going to be one that's going to come out.